Hello. So for our third lesson on reflecting on our thoughts, I just wanted to remind you that mindfulness is paying attention in a certain way, without judging what you're thinking or feeling. So mindfulness is paying attention on purpose without judgment. It's difficult to do, and that's why we need to practice. And once we become more aware, it just becomes part of what we do automatically. So you're strengthening your mind, you're strengthening your thinking, you're strengthening your feelings, your internal strength, not just our physical external strength, but we're practicing being stronger on the inside. So we don't have to automatically respond negatively to something that is shocking. We can just notice it, notice that we're having a big feeling, and then choose how to respond instead of automatically behaving in a way that we may or may not like. Our minds are always working. They're feeling, they are planning, they are preparing, they are learning constantly. They're taking in sights, sounds, smells, sensations, and processing it and training us or teaching us what to do with all of this information. And now we're just being thoughtful on all of those processes and responding the way we choose to. We can notice that my heart's racing right now and I'm upset. But I don't need to scream. I don't need to be angry with my mom or my brother or my boyfriend or my neighbor. I can just notice that I'm not really liking this. This is unpleasant. And then choose to say something or choose to not. And maybe say something later when you're not as upset. First, I want to do a lesson to just show you how external things as well as internal things affect our thinking. So external things like our parents' messages, our teachers' messages, our friends' messages affect us, and how our internal thoughts affect us. So when we're in class together doing this activity called My Mind is a Cast of Characters, it's more of a role play. But I'm gonna have you guys practice it right there on your own and have you imagine what might be going on. So if I gave you a worksheet of math problems that you kind of recognize but kind of didn't, might be right at your limit of your math abilities. I give you this worksheet and I ask you to do it. While you're filling this out, you have a lot of thoughts going on in your brain. You're focusing on your math or trying to, but then you might have a thought of your mom or dad saying, "Did you do your homework?" Or another thought from your parents saying, "Hurry up, we're going to be late." What about your teacher saying, "This is worth 40% of your grade, and this material is going to be on your final exam"? What if a thought comes into your head from a friend who says, "Why are you always studying so much? Come on." Or another friend, "Did you hear what she said about you today?" What if you say to yourself, "I'm not good at math. I'm afraid I'm not doing well on this at all." Or another thought that says, "I hate math. It's so boring." With all of those thoughts, while you're trying to focus on something that's hard, what happens to your ability to do math? Do you think you can focus? Do you think you can do the best that you can on your math problems? If you feel the pressure of this being worth almost half of your grade, the pressure goes up, your ability goes down because your stress levels go up. Your thinking becomes less clear. If you then all of a sudden start worrying about what your friend said, "Did you hear what she said about you? Why are you always studying so much?" Then you start to doubt yourself. Or if you always tell yourself negative things, "I'm not good at this. I stink at this. I'm terrible." You start to believe some of these messages you say to yourself. So all of those thoughts are going on in your brain while you're trying to focus on your homework. You're not going to be very good at your homework. You're going to be stressed about things that are out of your control. With mindfulness, maybe you can start to practice to pay attention to one thing, maybe just your math, and then go back to think about what your parents said later. Or maybe you can just think about what your teacher said with your grade and Make yourself focus on your homework and your tests so you know you can do as well as you possibly can. Giving you some choice. Instead of thoughts taking over and determining the outcome, maybe you get to decide, no, I really do want to focus on this, and let those other thoughts just come and go. Just pass through. So your mind is a cast of characters, and there's constant chatter, and mindfulness will help us hopefully manage all of those thoughts a little better. Okay, before we start to practice mindfulness of our thoughts, see if you can just, maybe from your seated position, take your arms and stretch them straight up and make your body long from your seat to your fingertips. And lower them. Take your right hand, put it on your left knee, and put your arm behind you and just turn, gently sit up straight and turn your back. And come back to the middle. Put your left hand on your right knee and switch to the other side. Good. Just a few mindful movements before we settle in for practice. Remember that mindfulness will help us be strong and balanced internally, and we don't get to choose if all of our thoughts are pleasant. We actually have to manage pleasant and unpleasant thoughts, and mindfulness helps us be able to manage both the ones we want to have or spend time with and thoughts that we don't want to have or have to spend time with. Sometimes when I'm stressed, I feel like thoughts just spin in my head and spin and spin. And I have to be really conscious, and I actually label them as spinning. And now my family knows when I say I'm just spinning, they know I'm stressed and I'm kind of having stuck thoughts and I'm spinning on one thing. And then I need to do something like go for a walk or practice mindfulness or just be outside and listen to the birds and the wind in the trees, to be able to just calm down and figure out what it is that's making me upset, but visibly have the image of the thoughts just spinning, and it makes me feel unsettled. And now I label it like that, and now my people around me know, if Mom says she's spinning, she's having a hard time. It's okay, we all have them. I've practiced mindfulness for a long time. I still have things in my head that I don't like. That's okay. We're not trying to get rid of negative things, unpleasant things. We're trying to manage them. So we're just bringing awareness to ourselves and our thinking. And then you can manage yourself better, and you can let others know when you're not at your best, so they won't have as high expectations of you for that brief moment, because you are practicing to get yourself back to where you want to be faster with mindfulness. I acknowledge you so much for watching these. I hope you're enjoying some ideas around managing yourself. I wish we taught this all the time in every class, but you guys are doing really great by giving yourself this information so you can have it. So now we're going to spend the next part of the lesson doing a short mindfulness practice to cultivate present moment attention. We'll be paying attention to the breath as we did in the body scan. That was like 3 or 4 lessons ago. We'll also practice noticing and letting go of thoughts as we repeatedly bring our attention back to our breath. Remember, don't be hard on yourself. This is practice. You will not be an expert at this by any means. Just let your mind wander and then gently bring it back to your breath. It's programmed, it's made to have lots of thoughts, and you're trying to help it just have fewer, not stop them. And don't be upset when you do. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Your brain is doing what it's supposed to do. If it wanders, just gently bring your mind back to the present moment. Now we're going to practice. When you find that your mind has wandered, as it will, gently but firmly bring it back to the breath. Focus on your breath on purpose without judging. We're going to practice steadiness and balance for the next few minutes. So sit back in your chair with your back straight but not stiff, and your shoulders relaxed, your hands comfortably in your lap, your feet on the floor. Gently close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Now take in 3 slow, deep breaths. Fill completely on the inhale. Don't force it though. And exhale to empty on the exhale. Become aware of your breath moving into and out of your body. Notice the breath at the nostrils. Feeling the rising and falling of the belly, expanding gently on each in-breath and deflating on each out-breath. Just feeling the breath as it comes in and goes out without trying to control it in any way. Seeing if you can become aware of the breath from the beginning of the in-breath to the end of the out-breath. As you sit here watching your breath, you may notice sensations in your body. Just let them come and go. As you sit here breathing, you may notice thoughts that arise in your mind. Thoughts that arise in our minds all the time. See if you can notice the thoughts in your mind. Noticing that you are thinking. And then let go gently on their own and direct your attention back to the breath. Your mind is like a revolving door. Thoughts moving in and thoughts moving out, while you just observe them coming and going, bringing your attention back to your breath. You may notice sounds. Just notice and let the sound or the thought of the sound go. Come back to the breath going in and out of the body. While doing this, stay awake and alert in each moment until the sound of the bell. That was about 3 to 4 minutes of mindfulness. If you choose to practice more, I would encourage you to just do this on your own and maybe try to stretch the thought watching and letting go for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. And every day, just for a little while, just see if you can notice thoughts and let them go. It's a good practice. It will help you for the rest of your life. It will be something you can always come back to. And the more you do it, the more automatic it will become. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.